Charlo wants a Canelo showdown. He views Benavidez and Plant as stepping stones. Let's chop it up.
Push the weight enough flex. The live is one in the six. Fit the runner, boy, you nigga, no question. You would run a motherfucker high stepping. Hey, you never had a big enough weapon. Motherfucker never learned your lesson. I'm an 88 pack nigga. I'm an 88 pack nigga. I mean, day walker, drink blood, fangs out, full moon, motherfucker change like a hoe. I'm just a nigga from the hood trying to stack a little cheddar for the money.
Drew Titan Bronx on deck. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. Boxing scene, link will be in the description. Jamal Charlo wants Canelo showdown and views Benavidez as Plant as stepping stones. Jamal Charlo's next defense of the WBC middleweight crown was scheduled for June 18th against Masiji. I don't even know how to say his first name, Sulecki. Nobody was checking for that fight, but you know it is what it is. I don't mind. Hey man, why don't you mind the who's Sulecki? Who cares about Sulecki? Who could Abner Yildirim? See how that works? Man, ain't nobody want to pay to see no Sulecki. Abner Yildirim. Because I know when I wanted to see Charlo versus Canelo, a franchise status popped up. And y'all didn't say anything. So if y'all could pay for Abner Yildirim and all these UK bum bashing, I did not mind watching Jamal Charlo defend against Sulecki. So now that we've straightened that out, let's move forward. June 18th against Sulecki in a homecoming fight in Houston. Supposed to be on Showtime Championship Boxing, but earlier this week, Jamal suffered a back injury. Former super welterweight champion Charlo, 32 wins, no losses, 22 knockouts, has campaigned at 160 since 2017 and moving up to 168. And moving up to 168 for the right fight appears to be imminent for the 32-year-old. 32 years old, need to do it now. All right. A trio of big-name foes made up of undisputed super middleweight champion Canelo Alvarez and former titleist David Benavidez and Caleb Plant will be willing foes once Charlo decides to tack on 8 more pounds to his official fighting weight. It makes you want to whoop their ass. This is what Jamal's saying. But there's nothing I can do about it. Charlo told FightHype.com. It's a big fight for Canelo. He can't overlook it. He can't just say it's nothing going on for him. It's a big fight for Canelo. Him fighting me, the world wants to see it. I'm down to see it. Or I'll have to blow my chances fighting David Benavidez. Blow my chances fighting David Benavidez. I mean, you called for the smoke, Jamal, in all fairness. You did say that. You did say you wanted smoke. You did say that. And you and David Benavidez have been butting heads in public. We all saw it. Say, hey man, look, whatever. Goes on to say, he ain't nothing either. I would be his biggest fight to him also. He's talking about David Benavidez. So, okay. I'm biggest fight for any boxer right now. I'm one of the biggest boxers out there. It would make any fight better. Why not go ahead and take the real risk and fight Canelo where I could put it all on the line rather than fighting David Benavidez, who has nothing to offer? I still fight his ass and use him as a stepping stone to get to Canelo if that's what they want me to do, but they're not setting that up. I'm a little confused at that, Jamal. I'm a little confused at that. A stepping stone? A stepping stone? I don't know about that. I don't know about that. So I understand what you're saying. You want to, go to 168 and immediately get in the ring with Canelo. I mean, that'd be dope. But you think Canelo wants to do that? He dropped the belt and accepted a mythical title rather than to fight you. You think he's going to do that? I see what you're saying. Come up and try and become undisputed in one fight against Canelo Alvarez. That makes sense. If you can do that, if Canelo would agree to that. But Canelo only likes it when the odds are not stacked against him. Easy route Canelo. Yeah. That's been backfiring lately. You know, this easy route thing, that's been backfiring lately. Hasn't it? He goes on to say, if I could challenge myself against somebody like Canelo, no matter what, I go down in history. He knows that's going to be a way tougher fight than he thinks it is. No. See, Jamal. See, I'm reading this. He says, if I could challenge myself against somebody like Canelo, stop giving this man credit. If there's one thing I can't stand, stop giving this man Canelo credit. All of that fire that you have, huffing and puffing and barking on people and slapping phones out that damn hand, lines in the camp, have that same energy for Canelo, man. What are you doing? If I could challenge myself against, if he could challenge himself against you, he was supposed to fight you. He dropped the title. Well, you should be saying that every day. Every day when you get out of bed, your wife says, hey, what's going on, Jamal? What you want for breakfast? Canelo ducked me. But I want some pancakes, though, back. Your brother called you, yo, man, you wanna go to the gym, hit the bag? Yeah, you know Canelo ducked me, right? Yeah, he ducked me too. You should be screaming that from the top of every mountain. Canelo ducked me. Canelo ducked me. Franchise status ain't ish. Canelo ducked me. If I could challenge myself against Canelo, what is that? He's not that guy. You know what really would be disrespectful? If you got up here and say, yo, that he lost a Bivol, that's what he get for ducking me. I'm coming to 168. He won't be able to avoid me. And who knows? Maybe I'll meet Bivol. He's that guy now. Talk your shit, young man. But you getting on here and you saying, if I could challenge myself against Canelo, is that your friend on the low? Is there a relationship between Jamal and Canelo that I don't know about? What are you talking about, dude? It goes on to say Charlo finds himself in a precarious position. His 5-year run at 160 has not included a legacy-defining fight. No kidding. No kidding. His wins have come against the likes of Hugo Centeno, Matiev Korobov, Brandon Adams, Dennis Hogan, Sergey Derevyanchenko, solid win, and Juan Macias Montiel. No legacy-defining fights. And guess what? You have Canelo to thank for that. You have Gennady Golovkin to thank for that. I don't know why you and Demetrius Andre couldn't sit down and say, yo, look, man, we got to do it. They ain't fighting you. They ain't fighting me. We need to do it. Danny Jacobs walked up on you in BK. You didn't do it. That was when he was at 160, man. You didn't do it. So the door is swinging in all directions right here. Charlo's wins at 154 during his title run against Austin Trout and Julian J. Rock Williams have been much better. They're talking about Jamel. He should have been real clear about that. Should Charlo eventually campaign in 168, fights against the division's best will be required in order to join his twin brother and undisputed super welterweight champion Jamel atop the sports pound-for-pound list. Now, you see, everything that I just mentioned, and by the way, fam, I'm reading this for the first time. Everything I just mentioned is an issue. No career defining. See, now they're looking at 160 and all his accomplishments and no career defining fights. They're looking at that as his fault. You see how this is written? Language is everything, family. It's his fault now. Is there any mention? Let me read forward. Let me see if they mention Triple G. Let me see if they mention a franchise title. Let's read. Let's read on, fam. Let's read on, family. Okay, it says, okay, I'm not necessarily worried about what they say or what they think, said Charlo. They're going to have to see me one day. So if Plant wants that, let's get it. I mean, Ish, why not? Come on, Plant. None of these fighters pose a threat to me. As long as Jamal Charlo stays on top of his game, there's nobody that can stop me. If I go up to 168, Plant's just going to be a stepping stone to Canelo or somebody. They might as well just give me Canelo. It's all about the handlers now, social media. Wow! It's all about the handlers, and he says social media. Family, this is so telling right here. I'll say it again. It's all about the handlers and social media. But I thought big fights aren't made over the internet. It's all about the handlers and social media. I'm going to highlight that. The fans do not call fights anymore. Uh-oh. Obviously, the fans aren't picking the fights. What? The big fights are coming through rankings, belts, and all kinds of other things. What are those other things? The big fights are not coming through rankings. Is he mentioning the... Okay, let me read on. I'm waiting to see if he mentions the franchise status. Those are the all kind of other things that you referring to. Let's read on. This is the new school era. They know Jake Paul before they know Benavidez. Whose fault is that, y'all? Whose fault is that? I'm waiting for him to mention the franchise status in the WBC. Is he going to say that? This is the era of boxing that we live now. That we live in now. It's not about the best fighting the best. It's about the most popular being the most popular. Woof. Oh, my God. Logan Paul got a chance to fight Floyd Mayweather before someone that was supposed to fight him. Why didn't you speak up? Instead of speaking up, everyone's trying to fight Logan Paul. He says, so it's a different era of boxing now, and I like it. Oh, see, here we go. You see, y'all? This is why I'm really selective about who I stand up for. You see this? He says, I'm not mad at all. They got to wait their turn at this point. Now they want me to go to 168. No, you said you assault and do all this weird stuff to David Benavidez, and he said, I want the smoke. And when you clean out your division, the only thing left for you to do is go up. He said, now they're talking about me going to 175. I guess it's part of boxing. Hello? Yes. Your brother's one. He's undisputed at 154. Unless he has a problem going up in weight, that's where he's going to stay. But logic says move up if you could do it. It's the new era right now. The weight division stopped mattering when Floyd Mayweather and Canelo fought at 154. Ay. After that, Canelo said, you're going to fight me at the weight that I want to fight at. So weights don't really matter. You've got little guys fighting big guys fighting little guys. Jamal, have you ever heard of a fighter by the name of Sugar Ray Leonard? Do your research, y'all. If I go up, I'm down to go up. That's the biggest middleweight in the world. So that's how they're going to look at me. When my brother's ready to come to 160, I'm going to get out of his way. He's going to get all the other belts at 160, and then we're going to make history again and again and again. Well, that's the article, y'all. The link will be in the description. Look, man, this was very telling. I thought big fights weren't made online. This article was very telling. I just mentioned a bunch of names. And by the way, one thing he did not mention was the franchise status. He didn't mention it. He didn't mention how the WBC robbed him of a Canelo fight by allowing him to accept the status to get out of Jamal's way. He should have been screaming at the top of his lungs. Don't blame Canelo for taking advantage of some fad of people just fighting these clown fights, these novelty fights. Don't blame Canelo for that. Don't blame. He really blamed Canelo and Floyd, and come on, man. He got it all wrong, man. He got it all wrong. Jamal, you didn't get a Canelo fight because of Mauricio Suleiman and the WBC, the strap and the picture that you have over your shoulder. So you blamed everybody for you not getting Canelo fight but yourself in the WBC. In my opinion, what you should do is say, you know what, man? You blocked the Canelo fight. Canelo was allowed to run around here and do everything he want. I didn't get a Triple G fight. I didn't get a Canelo fight. Now y'all want me to run up to 168 and fight. If you want to say that, say that. You want me to run up to 168 and fight Benavidez and Caleb Plant? I'll beat them anyway. But what's to say you beat them? What's to say Canelo fights you then? Especially if you beat him. What's to say? While you're fighting Benavidez and Caleb Plant, what is Canelo doing? All right, let's say he fights Triple G and beats him. Then what? All right, you fight Benavidez. So now you got two undefeated. Well, you got two fighters. Let's just say that. You got two fighters that and it's going to sell. So Canelo just knocks the crap out of Triple G, and now you're fighting Benavidez in a dangerous fight. Let's say you win that. Now you got to entertain Caleb Plant. The whole time, what is Canelo doing? Bum bashing. Because they ain't going to make him get in the ring with Bivol again. I guarantee you that. And he will make his money. He said it in the video that I made. The little clip I took of him saying, yo, it don't matter who I fight. The money's there. I'm chasing legacy. Abner Yildirim. Jamal. Abner Yildirim got a fight before you. Payday. He got a payday before you. People are ripping you for Selecki, in which you've been injured. You can't fight it now. You can't fight him now. They're ripping you for Selecki. But Canelo fought Abner Yildirim before you. And then he wants to say legacy-defining fights. They're blaming you for not having a legacy-defining fight when Canelo ducked you. And you're still in here giving him credit. I don't understand. You guys got to be friends, man. This is disgusting. Well, the link will be in the description. You read it. This is crazy, man. This is crazy, man. Bronx on deck.